I was going to ask you about Spolstra too, because I know that's how he started. He started in the video room,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
he is who he is now. Like,
Yep. It doesn't. Hey, I'll tell you this. It doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't
mm-hmm.
happen by luck. People are like, oh man, he got this. It doesn't
No,
happen
it's
by
that
luck.
work.
That's that every day. And I will tell you this. He is I'm gonna use a Jay-Z line here.
Yeah,
Jay-Z line. He said in one of his bars, you put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'm gonna triple my
for
work.
my work. Mm-hmm.
You put Coach Spo in any aspect of a basketball team, and he will make you better. He can do anything.
You can catch me later in the morning. Out with my whole team, we drink our ass off. I'ma be the one that's chillin', sitting cozy with the OG vintage Snapback on. You can catch me later in the morning. Out with my whole team, we drink our ass off. I'ma be the one that's chillin', sitting cozy with the OG vintage Snapback on. Feel good, yeah, I look good. Feel good, look good. Put it down, man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 12 of Snapbacks and Mimosas. I'm your host, and I know it's Ergy, aka Sniper from the Corner. If you don't know now, you know. Check the IG page, is up there. And I'm here with one of my great friends from college, Jordan. How you doing, man? You know,
What's going on? I'm just fine, man.
doing just
How about
fine.
yourself?
I'm doing great, man. Before we start, I gotta give you your accolades and tell the people what you've been doing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing
Started
much.
off started off hooping at junior college,
Yup, yup, yup.
NAIA, and then
Yeah, a
you
little
went
bit of that.
a little bit of that, and then you went over there, came to U of H for the grad program, and that's where I met you at. You
Definitely.
know,
Yup,
both
yup,
sports. You was on you work with the
yup. Couple
basketball
of
team that went to
years.
the Sweet 16. So you seen the
16.
good years. You also seen the
Yeah,
bad
no,
years, but you
some
see a
good
lot of
stuff.
good years.
Some really good stuff, man.
Yeah,
Yup.
you know what I'm
A lot of hard
saying?
work.
And that's all we're gonna touch on all of that. And then now you're currently working for the Miami Heat
Yup.
on the
Up there in
video side.
Miami. Yup,
So
yup. Definitely love it out there.
that's a huge progression, and we're gonna get into all of that. Um, but I'm honestly I'm just glad that you took the time to get on the show with me.
Definitely, definitely. When you hit me up, I was definitely interested. Just the research I did on because I've been knowing you for a number of years, and the research I did on this platform and everything, you do a really good job. So of course, extending the invite, I'm definitely accept that. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You see, I got my Miami colors on. You know, you visit Miami
I
once,
see you. I
you
see
get the
you.
colors. You get the vibes on, the 2 chains. You gotta have the shirt wide open
I
so the
see
breeze.
you. You're adapting. You're adapting,
You
man.
know
Take a
what I'm
little
saying?
bit.
I got your boys in the background. I changed up the whole aesthetic for this. So I'm ready,
Definitely
man.
a
I'm
different
ready.
vibe from Texas. Definitely.
So yeah, man. So how you been like during this whole quarantine? My whole thing is like checking on people and checking on their mentals and how they're handling all this stuff.
Oh no, it's been up and down. Definitely just I think more so it's had its good and its bad. It's definitely with the season going on, that's definitely the highs.
Mm-hmm.
I think more so the lows just happen when uh well, the lows are just gonna happen with when they had that little stretch where we didn't know what we were gonna do. We didn't even know it was gonna be a season. So
Mm-hmm.
you look
Mm-hmm.
at yourself as like a guy that works with the team. You're just like, man, like I didn't even get a complete season. Like like you want
Yeah.
because everybody's at the end of every season, everybody gets evaluated. So you want as much time and to show as best that you can do under pressure situations like the playoffs. That just skyrockets what
Mm-hmm.
people think about you. So you get there and you're just like, I don't know, man. We're gonna even finish the season. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, and you're hearing this. And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't know this. When you work in the league, from me, I can only
Mm-hmm.
really speak for me and the team I'm with. sometimes like stuff's not necessarily always trickled down on time. So it's like everybody's reading like Woj and what he tweets, like I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
People
That's
hit me up
funny.
and I'm just like, I mean, I'm just now finding out about this too.
And that's the crazy thing, because a lot of athletes say like, I didn't find out about the trade until I saw it on Wojo, and
It's
that's
just
like,
it's just different, it's a little bit different. Everybody, I think the main thing that everybody tries to do is they're trying to generalize the whole NBA in one and just like, oh, NBA does this, NBA, like, no, it's 30 different teams doing
different.
each
Yeah.
team is very different, so how they treat and how they do a lot of different stuff is different. So some people find out, they call them. Some guys find out from Woj, like,
Yeah. Ain't my problem no more.
You.
You're not on my payroll, so I don't gotta tell you shit. So
I roll sometimes, man. Depends on how you were as a player too.
Yeah, true, man. Yeah, so I'm gonna touch on that, the whole bubble. I'm gonna touch on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thing. But I just wanted to get a sense of like, how did you come to the area that you are now? I know you started off playing in junior college. Like, was it your goal to always like make it to the NBA? Like, how was that growing up?
I'll give you a semi short version of it. Well, my dad played, and my dad played at University of Houston. He's a 1,000-point scorer there. And so I've been around basketball my entire life. And my dad coached at University of Houston under Guy B. Lewis, and went to a couple Final Fours himself. And so he coached junior college and Midland Junior College, and that's where I was born, in Midland, Texas. And so I've been around basketball my entire life, and it's kind of just been a thing that I've always wanted to do, just being just like my dad. So playing was just like second nature. Just picking up on things. It's just with being with him. And so after he left Midland, he went to South Florida Community College, and right outside of Orlando. And so that's where I was kind of just really just got a feel where I would just be in his practices and everything. And after he left there, that's when we moved to Houston, because when Clyde Drexler got the head coaching job at U of H in '98, that's when we moved back to Houston. I've been there ever since. And so it's just always been something that's been ingrained in me. I played in high school, and then was fortunate enough to go to South Plains Community College, and is one of the best junior colleges that you could play for. So I was there, and then I played there, and then I played at Lamar State, and we went to nationals and stuff like that. And so it's just been something that's just been ingrained in me. And after that, I played a little NAIA, and that's pretty much more so for my playing. It's just,
Yeah. I guess, when was it, I guess, from that transition from playing to like, okay, I'm gonna go to grad school? We'll find
I'm gonna tell you this. I tell people that know me, and they look at if they think I'm successful in anything, I'm saying, man, it's not easy. It's something you work on all the time. So my story is a little bit different from everybody's story in basketball. Is a little bit different, but mine's a little bit different.
100%.
So I went from playing, and I didn't finish school. So I came home, and I was just going to school, but I knew I always wanted to coach, but I knew I had to get a degree. So my first, like you asked earlier, was my goal always to be in the NBA? I'd say my first goal was just to be a junior college coach. That was my goal. I was dead set on that. I love junior college. I played junior college. I lived and breathed it. As far as also as D1 as well, but I lived and breathed it. So that was my main goal. And I got to give a major shout out to one of my best friends, Charles Allen. And
shout out Charles, man.
That's my guy. So he was playing. He played well. He was also playing as well. He played at the D2 in Dallas, and so he came home as well, and he just bumped his way, and he became a manager at University of Houston. And so he did 1 year there. It was the first year of Coach Sampson being there, and he told me that all season, he's like, bro, I love it. I love learning and stuff like that. Come do this. And I was a little hesitant at first, because as we all know, with players, when you're a player, you don't want to subject yourself to being like, we've been around managers, like, what I mean? So what I'm saying? Yeah. But he was just telling me, it was just like, it's great to learn. It's great to do this. And, you're going to be a part of a good program. he believed in so much of what Coach Sampson was saying that he wanted me to join in that. And he was like, this is a way that we can both learn because we both wanted to be in basketball. And so I was just like, okay, cool. So I got on and I literally got on as a manager. And I mean, I went from playing to wiping up sweat and washing clothes. So there was a sense of like you get over yourself really quickly. I'm not a person that trips on like a power trip or anything like that, but you're at the bottom. Like you're seen, not heard, which is fine with me. I'm not a guy of a lot of words, but it's humbling. Like you take it step by step, but you can feel your hard work starting to pay off a little bit. You feel the ground floor, and you just feel your knowledge, especially with the guys at the University of Houston. They're so impressionable, they're so knowledgeable that you just like you feel yourself growing. And so that's what happened for me and him. And so we did a couple of years there. And so he got moved up to be a GA. And it just so happened that and right before he started his GA year, he got a job in with Phoenix the Suns. And so so he left, and so they had a void in the video room. And I'm gonna say this, that it was a big blessing for him. It was also a big blessing for me as well. It just, you never know how things are gonna turn out. That's the best thing about basketball. Worst thing about basketball, you just don't never from year to year. You just don't know how things are gonna turn out. So I got moved up to being the GA in the video room, which I've always played. Like I just told you my background. I've never done anything video. I've played video games. I've set up video systems. I know those kind of things. I mean, I'm a millennial. I know how to do that. But as far as doing video, it is very tedious. It is very frustrating at times. I mean, like when I say video, I'll break it down for you. We break down every game. We break down every possession. We put every possession into categories as far as like we basically it's coding. We code every possession, so it can be a made shot, missed shot, made three, missed three, turnover, stuff like that. We get down to the nitty gritty. We probably watch every game twice over. And so it was just something that I had to pick up very quickly because I wanted to be on the staff. I wanted to move up. And it's one of the things that I tell guys. I say, if you want to move up in basketball quickly, be in the video room. You see everything twice over. People respect guys that are gonna see things. That's, as you know, with football. If you see things over and over again, people are like, well, what do you think after a while? So I was blessed with that to have that opportunity, and I was blessed really with a very good boss, Casey Beard. He's the head video coordinator there, and he put me up to speed very quickly. And I felt comfortable with him. And so as I did that, more doors opened for me. So now my goal was coming into it to be a junior college head coach. I'm going to introduce things I know to the junior college world. To now it's like, I mean, why not? Why can't I be a Division I assistant? Why can't I be eventually a Division I head coach? Why can't I do that? You know what I'm saying? You're rounded more, your goals change. And that's how I am. I'm more so, but what I want to do and stuff like that, I never set anything so high. If I can't map out a road to it, I don't want to set it. Like everybody has dreams and everything, but if I'm gonna do a goal, I want to know how can I do that, because I don't want to be wishing on something that may never happen. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, so, exactly. And when you say something like that in terms of like the goals, because I feel like every step is a goal too. Like every small step 100%. It adds on top of the goal that you're trying to reach. So like you can look back on what you did and be like, okay, I've done that. I can go forward and go do that now because I know that I can handle. Yep. You at the beginning, you didn't think you could do what you just did.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
yep.
I get what you're saying. Like every small step is important to the main goal.
Yep. That's it. And credit to everybody that really worked, especially the players and all the coaches with University of Houston. When I got there, it was our first 20-win season, and in 20-win season, we're just knocking on the door of the NCAA tournament, and we just couldn't get in. And so my third season there, we were fortunate enough to have some really big wins. And we had, everybody knows Rob Gray.
Yeah.
My guy Rob. he helped us out a lot, and he didn't do it alone. Obviously, we had Galen Robinson, we
A
had
lot of
Corey Davis,
players.
and we had Amari
Yeah.
Brooks. We had a cast of guys, but we had a really good
Ballers.
coaching staff to put them in great situations. And we knocked on that door, and we busted that door down. And that felt, for a program that hasn't been there in a while, and for me personally, because my dad was there when that program really went to to the tournament almost every year. That felt really good, especially when you do it like we do it for the city. And that was
Yeah.
our motto. It was we did everything so we would have some respect on our city.
Yes.
So
And the thing
it felt
is
great.
that it was a whole sports department movement at that time though.
Mhm.
Like, because at the time, I mean, working for the football team and working for like years before we were actually like
Yes,
good, you could see like 7-9, 7-9. Okay, we have the players, but like we weren't putting it together.
hundred
And
percent.
then we get the 15-1 season, and then it's just like, wow,
100%.
okay, we can actually do this. And then you go look at the baseball team, and they go to the baseball World
Yes, they're
Series.
not. They're knocking on
They're
the door.
they're knocking
Yep.
at the same time, and then you see the basketball team, and okay, we're in
Yes.
the NCAA tournament, and we're winning games.
Mhm.
We're
And
getting high
I'll,
seeds.
I'll say this. I'll say this. A lot of people won't recognize this, and they probably don't know. Those other sports, they put pressure on you. Whether you know it or not, you see
A
other
hundred
guys doing
percent.
well, and you're like, okay, well, because it's so seasonal. So it gets to your season. They're like, okay, the football team. I went to the Peach Bowl. It was and that was a tremendous run. And so then now you look and now it's basketball season. So people that are fans of University of Houston are like, okay, we just had fun with this football season. All right, now we're ready to have fun with basketball season too. So y'all come on with it now.
I remember that big UConn win,
Yes,
and
yes,
the whole Hawthorns was just
yes,
packed,
and
you know,
yeah,
and like going to, because I mean basketball is my favorite sport, and so like going to those games, because I was in the band too, so I would play and I would see like ain't nobody in the stands like my
mm-hmm,
first 2 years, 3 years maybe,
mm-hmm,
my first 3 years playing in the band, nobody's there.
yep,
No, you know what I'm
yep.
saying? You playing for the team. That you literally playing for the
Just
team.
slice those
Yeah,
pies, hot fines.
you know what I'm saying? And, but I can't lie, because the women basketball team, they did go to the tournament. I think 2012. I
Yep,
went to that.
yep, yep, yep,
I went
yep.
to that.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so I can't lie about that. But um, it was it was a different like energy, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was the closest that I felt like we were to the '80s, of having that energy of like
Yes,
we're a
especially
good team.
I'm gonna break it down because I just remember it. I remember it really well. The first year we went to the tournament, it was just like a sense of a kind of relief, and it was just like a what we don't know what we have here. Let's see what we got here. So
Mhm.
we win the first game, and it was just a nail biter versus San Diego State. Comes down to a buzzer beater, they miss it, and we're fortunate enough to walk away. You live another day, and we're just like, man, we're just just it's. I will tell you this: there's nothing like a tournament game. Nothing in college like a tournament game.
Mhm.
It's if you feel like every mistake will
Yeah,
put you
magnify.
down 10.
Yes, yes.
Especially when you're playing just tough games and we're just like, man, like, dang, like this is back and forward. We game plan for this. Why are we not doing this right? This is not going
Mhm.
right. We busted this coverage. And so I will tell you this. I have to harp on this. We played Michigan the next game. That
Mhm.
preparation, I have to give my it blew me away on how hard we prepared and how quickly our coaching staff turned around a meaningful, remarkable program changer win from San Diego State in the first round. So okay, now we have to get ready for Michigan, the Big Ten, the Big Ten champion,
Mhm.
Michigan, and they're just wiping people. As
Before.
we're studying tape
Mhm.
and we're talking to Big Ten guys, people can't figure them out. They're doing a certain so what they did was they had a bunch of shooters on the court and their big man could shoot. So what he would do is he would act like he's setting a ball screen and he would just slip it and
Slip, yeah.
he would go, we call it ghosting a screen, and he would go shoot. So it just puts you in a you don't know who to guard. So what we did in that hotel room the day before, let me tell you, it was hell on our bigs, but we drilled it. We had
get out there.
we had a thing that we just kept saying to them, and they had to use it in the game. As we still say it to the day, we would if their big man who plays for the Wizards now, Mo Wagner, if he came and screened, our big would yell this to our guard as he's on the ball. It would be stay. And if he actually touches him, then it would be switch. But if it's just stay, you just stay in front of your man. But at the last second, if we got to bail out, switch.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, fast forward to the Miami Heat. I actually talked to Duncan Robinson about this, and he's like, man,
he was on the team, yeah.
He said, man, y'all guys guarded us so well. We didn't know anything that we needed to do for that. It was just like, nobody guarded us like that all year, man. Y'all are really like tough. Y'all are a tough team. So rewind into that season. We go back and we play a Michigan game, and we felt like we should have had it. I know I'm in the back coding, doing video stuff, and I felt like we had it, and we were a lucky shot away from not doing it. That was kind of heartbreaking, but overall, we look back at that season as just like it was a great season. We broke down barriers, but we're still in the back of our head saying what if, because we felt like we should have beat Michigan, and Michigan made it to the final game. It made it to the championship game that year, and I say that season sticks out a lot. The difference in that season and next season is we had a lot of people coming back. The next season, we kind of took college basketball by storm. And
yes.
We really, the more and more I think about it, I believe we lost 4 games that year. 3 games we felt like we shouldn't have lost. We were undefeated going into conference play and going into Philadelphia playing Temple. And we played our worst game of the season. And it came down to a charge block with no time left. We should have won. We felt like we should have won.
Yeah, I remember that.
We played, I'm trying to think. We played a game at home, and this was like a oh my gosh kind of game. We played UCF, big Taco Fall at home, and it's college game day, and we kind of just like we mess up one inbound switch and we lose that game. And those 2 games we felt like we should have won. We probably felt like we should have been undefeated going into our conference tournament. And that season was so different from the year before, because we still didn't feel like we had expectation, but we had kind of a burden of being, you look up and you're 14-0. You look up and you're 23-1, 23-2. Like you're looking up and so I'll say this, when we lost those first 2 games in the second season, you have to think about this. Okay, let's say I'm trying to think right now. We were probably 22-2 at the time. So dating back to the season before, we lost 3 games by a total of probably 5 or 6 points.
It was a lot of, and it was that Cincinnati game too. It was always Cincinnati.
Yeah. So when you're basically winning like 25 games, but the 3 games you lost are by like so small. Every time you lose, it feels like the end of the season.
Yeah.
So you just go into the locker room and it's just like, so I have to credit the staff for bringing us, tearing us down, but bringing us right back up to saying, guys, we got a lot of season left. And so we get to the tournament that year, and everybody knows it's a Sweet 16 year, and we play Kentucky. We played them as hard as we could play, and we had another bad break.
Yeah,
we lose, but is this, you putting up banners is what we always say. And we put up that banner for Sweet 16, and we wear that really proud. And I say that right there was just like you're just on a high, and that kind of just concluded my days with University of Houston. But it was just like from where Coach Sampson, all the credit goes to him and the guys that he put around him, from where he picked it up and where he has it now.
Right now, yeah. The thing is, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I'm pretty sure we would have went far this year too.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, like because we were balling too. We were playing hard. Like,
and the thing of it is that team was. You're not gonna get tougher than a Coach Sampson coach team, and that's just that. Like you're not gonna beat them on the boards. You're not gonna play defense harder than them. So you better hope that you're shooting the ball well that day, because if not, you can get embarrassed.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really do appreciate those basketball days, man.
Man,
Yeah.
I was just at I was just at practice yesterday. I was like, man, it doesn't feel like I left. We're playing hard. We're flying around. I'm like, y'all, hey, you better watch out this season. Watch out. They got a good team.
All the projections got us winning, and I'm here for it.
And we try not to look at that because but because the thing that I love that Coach Sampson does is, at the end of the day, we can say what we want to say about all these other teams. These other guys, these other teams in our American Conference, they have bigger budgets than us, and we're always going to be looked at as little old Houston, and we never want to take that away from us. We're little old Houston. You can expect, our expectations may change, but we're little old Houston. We come out with our little band of warriors, and we here to lay the wood on you. We here to beat your ass. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Good times.
Okay, and then you said from that you moved on to the NBA, right?
Yeah. That's a crazy
transition. Yeah. How was that opportunity given? How did you earn it?
It's just a crazy story in itself. I'll say this: all the credit in the world goes to my boss at University of Houston, is Casey Beard. I shouted him out earlier. All the credit to him. He empowered me from my first year as a video assistant to a second year. He empowered me to do so much that I was doing a lot of stuff that I was doing a lot of head video coordinator stuff in college. So he's watching me, he's checking on me, but he's empowering me to run film for the whole team, for Coach Sampson, and Coach Sampson will come to me and say, like, hey Jordan, I want to do this and this and this. And so I'm doing a lot of stuff, and a lot of edits, a lot of team edits, a lot of helping with scouting. You get your assistants that you help with scouting, like, hey, I want to watch this game, break down this. And so they kind of look at you when we have an opponent with that. It's like we have a couple assistants there, and we have assigned guys with each assistant, and it's you and that assistant, and you work on that scout. So when the team is like, and Coach Sam's like, hey, what do they do here? What do they do there? Like, he's talking to that assistant in the meetings, but behind closed doors, you and that assistant are just close as ever, saying, this is what they do. If we do this, this is what they do. If we run a zone, this is what their plays are going to do. If we switch our screens, if we blitz our screens, so it's you feel like, even though you're not your title is not a high title or something like that, you're right there in the thick of things with all the game planning and stuff. So what that did for me was that opened up more doors where I didn't even know that. My boss, Casey Beard, who's been in the NBA, he told me, he said, you'd be perfect for the NBA because this translates. There's not so many things that translate from college to the pros, but this translates. If you want to do video in the NBA, and with the way the NCAA rules are, is that you can only have so many coaches on court. Let's say you probably have the head coach and the 3 assistants and probably managers on the court. So GAs are not really supposed to be on the court. And so in the NBA, they don't have that. So it's like, you're a guy, he's telling me you're a former player, athletic guy that knows video. So now you can help work out guys and you can do video work. So they don't have he was like, in the NBA, they don't have a lot of guys that do that because young guys that want to be skill developer trainers and stuff like that, they don't want to do video coordinator work.
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah.
So if you can do both, you're a Swiss Army knife. So I never thought of that. Never thought about that. I even brushed it off, even the NBA possibility, because I thought, like, who, me? Little me?
Yeah.
In the NBA? What are you talking about? I'm just a guy a year ago wanted to be a junior college head coach.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So I'll tell you this, how it went. After we lost to Kentucky in the Sweet 16, I went looking for jobs. The staff, they helped me out as much as they could. I thought I was in the running for Washington State head video coordinator job, BYU head video coordinator job, a couple other places, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm getting close. I don't know. I don't know if they're feeling me or not. I'm getting past the interview process, and I'm just like, what's going on? What should I do? And so I don't have anything. And once again, I call up my boy, Charles. I say, hey, Charles, man, I don't know, man, what's going on. I tell him, because I talk to him pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, you know what? You'd be perfect. We have an opening with our G League team. He was like, you'd be perfect for like intern or like helping video wise with the video intern, or could be on court and stuff like that with their G League team, the Stars. And so I was like, all right, cool. He was like, man, we a lot of NBA people know everybody comes to meet in the summer league in Vegas because all the teams are there. So he's like, come out here, man. Come out here and come to Vegas, and we'll see if we can set up like an interview with them. And I started to talk to his team about that, the G League team, because their G League team is so close to their NBA team. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I'll do that. So I went out to Vegas and just took care of business and interviewed with them. They liked me. And so I went home from Vegas with not a job offer, but it was pretty close to one. They basically told me to let them know if I have anybody else talking to me.
Yeah.
So I will say this, I missed the part. Before I went to Vegas, my boss, Casey, told me to mail off my resume to every team in the NBA. Every video guy in the NBA. I was like, really? I was like, mail it? Like, like snail mail? Like, what are you talking about? And so I did that though. Best thing I could have ever done. So I get when I get home from Vegas, by the time I get home from Vegas and people see my stuff from there, I get calls from the Washington Wizards, from their G League team. I get calls from the Phoenix Suns G League team. I know a guy out there as well. And so they're starting to talk to me. So I tell the Stars what the G League team with the Jazz, they call the Stars. They told me, it's like, hey, let us know. So I let them know. I said, hey, there's been some calls about me, such and such. And they said, oh, well, shoot, if there's gonna be calls, we're gonna offer you. And that's what happened. So I got offered that job and I took it. I was like, okay, this is where we're going with it. So I'm still talking to a couple of other G League teams. I'm just telling them what my situation is with the Stars, and just building relationships is the main thing I wanted to do. And so I'm all set to go to Utah. I actually drive Charles. This is his first year with the Jazz. I drive him to Utah. That was hell. Luckily, me and him are close. That's a long drive, man.
That's a long drive.
That Houston to Utah trip is, I ain't gonna lie to you. We had to go up to Wyoming, and I'm just like, where am I at? And so so I get to Utah, and I get to see where I'll be at housing wise, and meet with a couple of guys and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. He was leaving, I want to say around, it was after summer league, some mid-July, and then I was going to head out there in October. And so I am still doing some small things for University of Houston time to time. And so I'm sitting at home. I'm playing 2K. I'm chilling, right?
Yeah.
I get an email from the Miami Heat. From their head video coordinator, Dan Bisacchio. And I'm just like, okay, shoot. He's like, hey, like, we got your stuff. We like it. Would you answer a couple questions? I'm like, yeah. Questions. Cool. And so I just, like, whatever. So we exchanged information. And so he actually calls me the next day. I can't remember. I think, he called me the next day, and I'm just talking to him, just talking, I'll ask you this question. Have you ever had a job and somebody else call you about another job? And so I promise you, bro, you are the loosest person on earth.
Yeah.
Supposed to be around when you got a job, you just got a job, and somebody else call you about a job. You're like, yeah, like, I mean, like, hey, can you do that? I'm like, yeah. I mean, shoot, like, I tell him my situation with the G League team, and he's like, man, you good to be around. I'm like, yeah, I just, I'm always upbeat.
Yeah.
And so I get done with that, and so next day I get an email again. I get an email from the Cavs, and so their guy emails me, their head video coordinator, and he's like, hey, we want to get to know you, such and such. We got your stuff. Our GM, Kobe Altman, he actually gave me your stuff, so he wants me to call. We don't have a position right now, but we are looking. We love your resume. He's like, so he's texting we get exchange information. He's texting me like, so you can be on the court. You played? I'm like, yeah, I played. I'm like 6'2", 6'2.5". Like I'm athletic. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I played. He's like, but you can do video too. I'm like, yeah, I did 2 years when I was assistant video coordinator. I do it both. It doesn't matter to me. Like, taken back from what my boss told me, like, hey man, this is gonna be a thing that people are gonna look for.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah. He's like, man. And actually, their head video coordinator, me, are good friends today, and they just didn't have a position for me. So I get an interview. So I get an interview at the Heat. And I get a second interview. And this time, not only with the head video coordinator, it's the head G League coach who was just the head video coordinator. His name is Eric Glass. And he was there for 10 years as the head video coordinator. And so they both interview me. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, I can do that. I can come out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so it gets kind of serious. And I'm just like, hey, I'm getting some traction here. Not that I even know anything. Like, okay. And so I'll never forget. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I'm actually riding to University of Houston, and Dan, the head video coordinator with the Heat, calls me and he's like, you got to tell Utah you can't come because we're going to hire you here. And I'm just like, wow. Do you know what it's like to tell your family? I had to tell Sarah, my girlfriend, and I'm telling her, I ain't going to Utah. I'm going to Miami.
Call him Charles.
I had to call him. I'll tell you this. That was one of the hardest things I had to do because he really. I'll tell you this. That's my boy. He stuck his neck out for me. He introduced me to some people that I would have never been introduced to, and so telling him that. But it's just like, dang. He's like, because he was all thinking was like, hey, we'll be back together because we haven't been together for a couple of years since U of H days. I'm like, we'll be back together, so working in the same city, so we can look after each other and grow together because we're so close. Yeah. And so that was one of the hardest things, but I will give him a ton of credit. He was just like, you know what? As much as I hate it, that's a great opportunity. Like,
shout out Charles again. He does a good man.
Oh, we were supposed to be there. I'm like, I know. He's like, but hey, I can't stop you. That's a great opportunity. So that was tough for me, and it was an easy choice. And I got a call on Tuesday, and they say, hey, can you be here by Monday? I had to turn around and move myself to Miami because the way the timeline was, I got hired kind of late. So I got there and it was 1 week and it was training camp. We were right into the business. And I'll tell you this. Miami Heat, I love the organization. They are going to work you. You are going to be a worker.
I was going to ask you about that.
It's gonna be tough, and I love every minute of it. It was a big learning curve because from college to pros, you're not doing 35 games. 35 games and 35, you get 41 home games in the NBA. 35, 40 games in college, that's half the season. And this season has been a blessing. I started off and I'm just like, oh shit. I'm like, dang, we got 3 games a week. Sometimes we got 4 games a week. And I mean, I'm living in the video room. We're turning it out. And with those guys that we have, like Jimmy Butler and Kendrick Nunn and Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, those are workers, man. And the whole staff from head to toe, those are workers. You bring your hard hat. And that's one thing that I really love about the Miami Heat is that you're going to bring your hard hat. You're going to get the most out of you. Don't matter what the score is. We're going to work and we're going to strategize and we're going to prepare like our lives depend on it. And that was more so the easy part coming from University of Houston because it's the same. I tell people all the time, I said, University of Houston and Miami Heat, they have kind of the same. They run their stuff the same way. We're going to outwork you.
Grind it. Yeah.
Same thing with like Houston. Like we may not get the bigger recruits that you get, but we're going to outwork you. We're going to have some workers. You better come to work. And so being with the Miami Heat was a big blessing. And it still is. I love it every day. And I'll tell you this. Back-to-back games. I didn't know anything about back-to-back games unless it was tournament, unless it was like a pre-conference tournament. Yeah. And with University of Houston or AAU days, like NBA is different, man. You got back-to-back home days. I get in the office at 8 a.m., 7:30, 8 a.m. And I'm in there. We're working. Not necessarily because we'll probably have shoot around probably like around like 2 or 3, but I'm in there until the end of the game at 10. Then I got my after game stats and all the stuff I got to do. So I'm in there probably till 12:30, 1 a.m. Then you got a back to back. I'm right back in there at 7:30, and we going this thing again. So people thought I was going down to Miami to party. I said, no. There's no way, man.
For the Heat, no. That's not what Pat Riley does, not at all. I was going to ask you about that because you know, since the whole run in the bubble, there's a whole thing like the Heat culture, Miami Heat culture, like no one's going to outwork the Heat, and like you saying that just confirmed like it don't even matter if you in the video room or you the player on the court, like the standard is the standard.
I'll say this, Coach Spo is probably the best person, outstanding, one of the best coaches, obviously. And he's one of the best guys to work for. This dude cares about top to bottom, because he comes from the video room. He's top to bottom. Everybody is held accountable. And it's not a lot of high praises for each guy, but it's like a thing. It's like you're in a fight together, but you know who's working. It ain't gonna be like, oh, we praising this guy, we're praising this guy. Nah, man, we ain't with all that. But we know who's working. You know, not saying anybody wasn't. It's just like we know what we put in. We know what we're worth. We know what we're doing. But you just keep. It's kind of like a head. You keep your head down. You keep your head down until it's time to peak up. You just keep your head down. You keep working. No matter what's going on, you just keep working. And spending that many hours together with the same amount of guys, the video room with the Miami Heat is awesome. We had a four guy video room, 4 guys, and we hung out a lot and we spent a lot of time together. Got to know each other's favorite movies. These guys, the guys I work with, they're big movie buffs, and I'm just like sitting there like, what? Like, cause for me, I'm just like, if I know an actor, it's like, oh yeah, that's dude that played. They know everybody's name. The directors, I'm just like,
I'm the same way. I don't know anything. I'm like, so I know him from this movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing I do love about working with in the NBA and with the Miami Heat is we got guys from everywhere. So it's just a lot of different backgrounds, and so you get to see how other places do things and you just put them all together, and it's no ego in it. We say, hey, what's the best, easiest way? What's the most efficient way that we can get stuff done and get it to SPO? That's what we do. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just it.
I was going to ask you about Spoelstra too, because I know that's how he started. He started in the video room.
Yeah.
And he is who he is now. Like,
it doesn't, hey, I'll tell you this, it doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't happen by luck. People are like, oh man, he got this.
It's that work.
That's that every day. And I will tell you this, he is I'm gonna use a Jay-Z line here. Jay-Z line, he said in one of his bars, you put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'm gonna triple my work. You put Coach Spo in any aspect of a basketball team and he will make you better. He can do anything. I'm saying he can do video, he can do on court. He not that he can do, he's done. He can do, he has done. Video room, scout. You need him to work with the G League. You need him to do this. You need to do that. Like, he has done it all. So with his constant thirst for knowledge and thirst for getting better, it doesn't end. It's a nonstop. You would almost think the guy's crazy. He's like, nope, we can do this. Nope, we can do this. And the thing I really love about him is that he's caring, but he's very cut and dry. He knows what he likes. We have the pleasure of he loves to do motivational stuff for the guys. We have the pleasure of trying to give him ideas. And so my head video coordinator, Dan, he's just like, let me tell y'all guys right here, don't get too invested into your ideas, because we can give him 90 ideas. He will probably turn down all of them, not half of them, not even like one of your ideas. All of them. He's probably going to turn down all of them, but you know what you do? You start moving his brain to where he gets an idea. And then he'll say, I want to do this. And then you take it and you run with it. So he's a guy that is a constant thirst for knowledge. He's always going to know what's going on. He's going to know he's like, oh, I like what they did here. Give me this game right here. Or let's put this game on my hard drive. I want to see what this team's doing. I like this. I like that. I like this. He's not a guy that's going to he's not an ego guy that just like
stuck in his
way
ways.
of the highway. He's going to always adapt. And so with that's one thing I've learned. If you can always adapt to change, you have a good chance of staying in the NBA as long as possible. This is what it is. The game changes every year.
True. The way it's going.
Yeah, no,
Man.
yeah. I will say that I have to speak on this as well. This is one thing I have to speak on, and it speaks directly to Coach Bo. And one of the reasons, another reason why you love him so much. I actually had with the whole George Floyd incident and everything like that. A lot of people don't know, but my dad at South when I referenced that we were at South Florida Community College when he coached there at junior college. George Floyd was one of his first recruits. So my dad, I was around Floyd. We call him Floyd. I was around him when I was 5, 6. Like
Wow.
I've been knowing him for a long time.
Mhm.
So when Coach Spo found out all of that and he knew that, so first he told me to go home, be with my family. And this is when we didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, no, I'm still like with him, like while we were like shut out, locked out a little bit there, we were still working, we are still doing a whole bunch of edits and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I don't need to. He's like, nope, Jordan, I'm telling you to go home. And so I went home and he's checking on me every week. And that just speaks to him that he cares about who works for
Mhm.
him at doesn't matter if you're as low as I am or as right hand man. And that's something that I'll never forget and always thank him for. It's his birthday today. I'm gonna text him.
Oh, hey, happy birthday, Coach Spo. That's what's up.
And so that speaks, man. That's big time. And that right there. And Coach Sampson's kind of he's exactly the same way. He's gonna care about everybody that works for him. And so that I feel like with my background, that's a great way to go forward for me.
Yeah.
Is to be, if I can be half of what those guys are.
I I through this whole conversation, like the whole like theme that I'm hearing is like these mentorship, like these mentors that have kind of shaped like the direction that you're going from your father being a coach and then
Yeah.
to Coach Sampson, and then you go to the video room and I can't remember his name, but
Casey Beard, my
Case,
guy.
yeah, and he's pushing
Yep,
you.
yep.
He's pushing you to like, okay, send out your resume like archaically through the mail, and like that works. And now you have another like person you can look up to that's actually done the position that you've done, and he's
Mhm.
at where he's at, and Coach Spo. Like I feel like the importance of having someone that you can like see that
Mhm.
okay, that's the goal that I'm trying to reach, and like
Mhm.
taking a little bit from here and him, and then like making it your own. I feel like that's a major like uh key to like how you've developed your career so far.
Yeah, no. I always say this. Guys that are in power, guys that you work for, they're gonna teach you regardless you know it or not. Either they're gonna
Mhm.
teach you what to do, or they're gonna teach you
But
what
not to do.
not to do.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna get taught.
True,
So
true.
luckily for me, most of the guys that I've been around, they teach me what to do and how to do it.
Mhm.
And just that's just been it. I've been really blessed because I haven't. I'll tell you this: one of my good friends who's on the coaching staff at University of Houston, Mikhail McLean, he tells me, he said, Jordan,
Shout
you got
out.
one of the best. You got one of the best three-year runs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I've just been. That's when I sat back and I thought about it. I was like, dang man, I went to tournament twice, Sweet 16, now the finals. And it's just a huge
Yeah.
blessing that I've been around some guys that know what the heck they're doing, know how to get there, and they like to bring the other guys along with them. It's not just about them as far as mentors or head coaches were per se. And that's something that, because not everybody, you have a lot of teams with losing seasons and stuff like that, a lot of toxic environments, but I haven't reached that yet. But I feel like because of the people I've been around and the winning habits that I've created, that when I do hit that level, because we all are, you're gonna have a losing
Mhm.
season at one point, that you be able to fight through it and say, hey, this ain't it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I
I've
may not be
seen
able to
Doc.
control much, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna control my effort and what I can do and show everybody around me this is what I'm striving towards. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I feel like that's a big thing. And so far I've been kind of coached and taught by looking and learning and absorbing so much that what to do, not what not to.
I mean, and I feel like these years right now, like you said, it's going to pay off for you when you do hit that roadblock, because
Exactly.
it's a reference point. You know, like you can always go back. Like, no, I've seen it work. I've seen my work out.
Yeah.
For the better. So this is just a season, and it's going to the ebbs and flows of life. It's going to come back. You know, so I really, no. It's when I listen to you speak, that's what I'm hearing. I'm just like, dang, that mentorship is a major key.
Yeah,
it's a major key. You know,
I'm better than what I was last year, and I'm better than what I was the year before. It's an everyday thing. I'll say this because you just reminded me of something. Is when Sarah comes and visits me in Miami, and she sees me working, and she's like, "Well, you know, it's a different experience being there and coming, because she'll come to some Heat games." And it's a different experience being there than me being on the phone with her. She's like, "Man, you really don't stop.
You can see it.
Don't stop." And like, because my family came down for Thanksgiving, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be with y'all, but we got the Warriors. We got who else did we have that week? We had probably the Hornets, and then we had probably I can't remember that far back. Probably we had an Eastern Conference team. Probably had Brooklyn. I think we had Brooklyn. And so, she's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be with y'all, but I ain't gonna be with y'all.
I'm gonna be with y'all, but I'm not gonna be with y'all.
So I'm there. I come home late, and then like I'm just up early, one of the first ones out, and like, man, you really work. It was kind of like like, man, you really work. I'm like, yeah, like this ain't a for play thing. This is for real. And it's been a blessing, and it's been a blessing for my family. It's really been a blessing for my family to see where I want to go, and they see my goals change each year, and see me really working to strive towards it. So I know that's been a big plus for us, and been fortunate to have been in that position.
For you know, we wrap this whole thing up. I kind of want to get the experience of the bubble. Were you in the bubble with?
I wasn't. I didn't make the bubble list.
You didn't make the cut. No.
People ask me that all the time. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I felt like I was because. Okay, I'll give you this.
Explain.
I got I don't have any bubble experience, but my boss was there. We only had one guy from the video room be in the bubble. And because it was a lot of people just think like, oh, everybody goes. Like, no, it was like, you know, a couple of spots here. And you got front office, you got coaches, players. And so so I didn't necessarily make the cut list, but I got a firsthand experience because even though it was so close in Orlando, I was the point man for a lot of stuff back at for our coaches' locker room and our coaches' our desk and everything like that. So what we do is we have everything on a server kind of deal. I'm pretty sure everybody does. And so I'm like the point man. Like they're calling me like 10:30 at night, you know, any type of day. Like, hey, we need this off the server. We need you to send us this, send us that. This is what we're doing right now. We need you to chop this up. So it's like, and to get into our arena, I'm not sure how it is for everybody else, but I know for us, like I said, every team's different. You got to go through some tests. Like you got to, you just walking in, walking out kind of deal. So I had to make sure that I was kind of in a bubble myself, even though I was just in my apartment. I would just go to the grocery store, back, take my walks every day, but I'm just arena back. And so it's just like, I felt like I was kind of in a bubble how I was supposed to be. Yeah. And I'm just there working, but I was not in the bubble per se, you know?
Okay. That's very, you still was a major key to, you know.
I cringe even you saying that. I'm nobody.
Even me working in IT, I understand like the behind the scenes, like
I am a behind.
You still need that.
I love being a behind the scenes guy. The players, they do so much, man. Those guys, they make everything happen.
They showed out.
Who you telling, man? And no, this is the crazy thing. I came home for when Coach Spo told me to come home for the whole George Floyd, everything that was happening in the movement. I told my parents and I told Sarah, and I want you next time you see Sarah, ask her this: Did you believe that the Miami Heat would have made it to the finals? Because she looked at me and I came home and I told everybody. I said, guys, you know what? I think we got a chance. I think we got a chance. And if you're around me, you know I speak. I love to repeat myself. And I kept saying, I said, "Yep, we got a chance, y'all. I'm just gonna tell y'all." And I'm getting funny looks like, what? And then I'll never forget the words. Sarah comes out of nowhere at my house. My parents, I was like, "A chance at what?"
I can see Sarah doing that too.
He said, ain't LeBron still in this league?" I looked at her and I said, okay, you want just wait. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, I'm not here to say anything more. I said, I think we got a chance. Because at the time, we played the Bucks twice. We played them once with, it was the second game of the season, third game of the season, second road game of back-to-back, first road game of back-to-back. We played the Bucks with no Jimmy. We beat them in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
We played them at home in March when it was like, okay, we have a team that people are talking about, but we beat the Bucks the first time, but that was our second time playing them. It was a big gap. We embarrassed them. It was like a kind of like take it back moment. Like, dang, this team's for real. We played Indiana. We didn't lose to those guys during the regular pre-bubble regular season. Mm-hmm. We played the Raptors. We didn't lose to them. Jimmy's even. I always take Jimmy's quote at the All-Star game, and they love, for some reason they love to ask Jimmy every All-Star game about the Raptors. And you can go Google that if you want a good laugh. Yeah. So he gets them, and someone asked him, "Hey, what do you think about the Raptors this season? You know, with no Kawhi there." And he says the famous lines of this: "Have they beat the Miami Heat? All right, then."
I did. Yeah.
We haven't lost to those guys.
Gotta love Jimmy.
The team that I feared the most was Boston, because our team, Boston team, they had a lot of guys. They had a lot of ISO players, and you're just like, dang, these guys can go. And so we didn't beat them yet until the bubble. And so that was one of the things that I was thinking about when I was telling my parents. I said, we got a chance, man. If especially if the seedings work out. Oh, the Philly was the other team. We lost to them the first time, and we pretty much put them to bed after that. And you just like, man, we got a chance, dude. Like, it can happen. So nobody really believed that. And so what happened for us going to the finals was no surprise to me. It wasn't. It was like, okay, I believe this, but like, this team and how they play and how they communicate and how they trust each other and how it's so selfless. And when you get your top guy being selfless and how he doesn't care and he wants the shine to be on everybody else, it's like, when you get that, you got a chance. You got a chance, man. And it's fun to watch. You got a chance. And that's exactly what it did. And I think that took a little bit of the teams that we played by surprise.
That's right. Hey, I had y'all being the Bucks. I didn't believe in the Bucks, so I knew that, but
you don't know who's gonna hit you upside the head. It was Jimmy.
Is it?
And Tyler had a game that's just like, wow, this dude,
man.
So no, I'm gonna tell you this. I want you to go Google. You can put this up to my face. You can do whatever you want to do. I don't know how you do it. You can put it up. I want you to go look at when Jimmy was on the sideline and I think it was either we were clinching going to the finals or clinching going to the Eastern Conference Finals. And he looks around, he's talking to somebody and the camera catches him and he says, "We got some motherfuckers on this team."
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
I told you.
Yeah.
and as the guys in the back, you're like, yeah.
I remember seeing that. It was special. Like, that run is special.
Yeah. And so we make the finals, and my first call. So Sarah, what do you think now? Like, okay, I take it back.
Oh man, it was special.
I couldn't ask for more. Rookie year going to the finals. Granted, we kind of ran out of gas there, but just going there and the experience that we had for all of the guys, couldn't ask for a better year.
Definitely.
It was really, really, really. I've grown in this year more than I've grown in any other year, and it's just like partly because the year was so dang long.
Yeah, facts. That's facts. Yeah.
But it's good.
To wrap up, I want to do something a little fun here.
Talk to me.
I need a starting five of celebrity ballers. Celebrity ballers.
You're catching me off guard right now.
Come on now. We all seen it. All the celebrities hire a lethal shooter to get their shot up.
Okay. You know what? I can't even freaking think. Okay. I'm gonna say I gotta have off top. I gotta have J. Cole because he's one of my favorite artists. Gotta have J. Cole on the team. He's probably gonna run the 2. I don't know, probably. And I'm gonna catch some people off guard with this one. I don't know where I'm going after this, but right here I'm gonna catch some people off guard. I gotta have Adam Sandler as my 1.
Adam Sandler, bro. He got dimes. He got dimes, bro.
We always joke that he'll be out there in some. It looked like he got his shorts and shirts from the Walmart section,
bro. Just
and he's just out there
scrubbish.
So I mean, those 2 off rip.
Okay.
2 Chainz. That's a baller.
He's a baller. He's a baller.
Dave East.
Dave East, yeah.
I want to win the game, so I gotta have Dave East. And I don't even know, man. Who else can really? Trying to think. I don't know. Who's my last person? Trying to think. I mean, honestly, you know what? I think we got enough to carry us. We just may need a lethal shooter in that corner, and I gotta call on my former president, President Obama. You see what he just did?
You saw that?
That's what I do.
That's what I do. Come
I
on.
need that lethal shooter in the corner. I think we got enough. Line us up.
So Cole, Sandler, Davies,
2 Chainz,
and Barack. With the Rock. All right, that's it. My 5. I'm gonna go Barack to run point because president of the I'm gonna go famous Los.
Oh yeah. Hey, Los gonna do you up. He gonna talk about.
Yeah. And then I gotta go J. Cole. Who else? I heard Little Dirk actually.
I've seen
no.
I haven't seen too much, but I heard.
I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna go Quavo instead of Dirk. I'm gonna go Quavo.
Quavo's a hooper.
I'm gonna go Quavo.
Crazy story. It was last season. It was not this season, but I was my last season at University of Houston. It was before the playoffs. It was when the Lakers were playing. It was the Lakers playing the Rockets, I think. Mm-hmm. No. I apologize. Lakers didn't make the playoffs that year. I'm tripping. It was somebody playing the Rockets. And then, I think it may have been Chris. I'm not sure when it was.
Was it Golden State?
Quavo was in our arena doing a commercial. I
remember seeing that.
Bro can hoop.
He can hoop.
He's not bad. And the thing I like about him, he's knowledgeable. He knows whose ball is this. No, you know what? It was right before the season. It was right before our season. I remember now.
Okay.
And I think it was opening night. And he can hoop. He can hoop.
Then I think at my 5, I'm gonna put Uncle Snoop there. Put Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
I seen him with the sky hook. He be having his socks over his leggings, so he looking weird. But
that's a good follow.
Those are my 5, man.
Okay, man. I respect that.
So again, man, I appreciate you taking time.
Right, appreciate you.
And
appreciate you.
Coming on episode 12.
You got something out of me, man. I never talk about myself that long.
I told you it's going to be easy.
I probably won't talk about myself this much for the rest of my life unless I'm in another interview. But I appreciate you for having me, man. Man. Like I said, I'm a fan, and keep doing what you're doing. You cover a lot of topics. You're doing your thing, man. That's what I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
If y'all stayed. Oh, before I go, do you have anything you want to say to the people, and do you have like a social media that they can follow?
I don't put myself on. I don't put myself on social media.
Cool.
Follow me if you want to. I don't really care. I will say this though. I gotta call you out. Tell everybody. If you're watching this, my man came to Miami and didn't even call me. I found out the last day. No, the last couple days you were there.
The last couple, yeah.
I'm just like, yo, what's going on?
To be fair, I didn't know you was in Miami with the Heat though.
I don't. Like I said, I don't talk about myself. I don't, man.
I didn't know. But we did connect though.
Yeah, shout out to Charles because he told me. He looked at your story. He's like, hey, you know, he's I'm like, what?
Charles is always. Shout out Charles, man. Charles always know, man.
That's my dude. Yup.
Oh man.
So I gotta say that if you moving around, you need to let somebody know, man.
That's true. That's true. Man. Well, are you in Miami now? Or are you back at home?
No, I'm back home for a little bit, and I'm gonna be headed back out there probably this weekend or next week, and it's really crazy right now with the COVID thing. We don't know who's gonna be who can go into the office, who can't go into the office. We got the whole draft process coming up, so that's all been out of whack. So
true.
I'll be back there just a little time here. I know all of our guys are just trying to get a little time off, getting out of that bubble for 90 days or something like that. So I'm in Houston right now.
Bet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, man, thank you.
Episode
12. It's a wrap. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna try this new closing on y'all. See if y'all like it. It's gonna go like this: peace, snapbacks, and I don't finish my mimosa. But that's a wrap on episode 12, man. I'll see y'all later.
Sir.
Hey, thanks again for watching another episode of Snapbacks and Mimosas. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, even share it. I'm trying to get it out there. Again, thanks for tuning in.